we had this one. There we are. So we had this critter here was the 0. And then we had prefix. We have a prefix, so we have a port followed by an agent. Now that isn't directly reflected here, but these two operations, input and output, are actually combinations of things in this grammar here. So in particular, we have a port followed by something that we're calling an A or an agent, and then these are then either an input, and here we're allowing for multiple messages to be passed, and then after that we have another process. So that's what's going on here. We have, for example, an input, and then we have some behavior, and if you remember, these kinds of behaviors, for example, go off in time. So the often to the back of the page corresponds to our little semicolon here. And then we have a similar branch for output. And then finally we have a notion of summing or choice over normal processes. So again, if we look, there's our little stencil. There it is. If we look at our stencil here, then this this context here, this region, the plus is what enables us to do that in the graphical notation. Off in the distance here, we see we have a summation between two behaviors, and in fact that corresponds to the choice between processing a work request or a stop request. So this gives you a general sense of the kind of textual structures that can be used to underlie or support our thinking about processes using this sort of dynamics or intuitions about dynamical systems. You will note, this will be the last point in this presentation, that the pi calculus is parameterized in a notion of port. That is, that the idea of port only ever occurs sort of on the right-hand side of these arrows here. There is no production for a port. So the pi calculus is parametric. You supply a notion of port, i.e. you provide a production down here. So ports could be URLs, or they could be cell phone numbers, or they could be mailboxes. You supply a production here, and then you actually have an instance of the pi calculus which allows you to build processes which communicate over that notion of channel.